That was a really good introduction to my talk, actually. Fun is important. And I think we should be more serious about playing. And we should think about play in a more strategic way, like a strategic investment. Work is obviously not a playground, but what if we introduced a little bit more play at work? I'm Marion and I work at Chief Step Marketplaces, and you might know the brand Fin. Playing is good for you, and I want you to experience it, so you team up 2 by 2 and you play a round of rock, paper, scissors. If you don't know the rules, they are on the screen. 2 by 2. All right. We still have 2 people over there having not making it. Well, you both won in that case. All right, how did that feel? Fun, yes. At least I saw you very engaged, and I saw some people laughing. But let's understand why, what happened, and why it's good in the workplace. So actually, playing is kind of a mindfulness exercise. When you play, you are immersed in the present. You forget about what happened before and what will happen later. You are just playing and trying to be smarter than your opponent. So your brain is only dedicated to one task, no multitasking. And also, social positions fade. So it means that at the workplace, if you have hierarchy and you are playing with different people at different level of hierarchy, that will also fade. Because at that moment, you just are trying to win and you are equal. But you also get a dopamine boost. And dopamine is an hormone, and it stimulates your reward system. It makes you feel good. It's similar to eating a couple of candies, so it kind of makes you a little bit happy. And it enhances your vigilance, your creativity, and your memory. So actually, just by playing this game, I tricked you into remembering a little bit more my talk than the other ones. Next, some of you won and some of you lost. Hopefully, you did it with grace and everyone is still happy. And that's kind of practicing to have a challenge and you build resilience and a growth mindset by taking a new challenge. And lastly, you connected emotionally. So now you might feel a little bit more connected to the person you played with now than before the game. So it's good for you, but it's also good for your team. So when we think about a winning team, what does a winning team do? Well, they build things, they build the right thing, and they build it right. And to do that, they have to leverage 3 practices. Diversity of thought, so that it makes the best idea win. A growth mindset, so that you take a challenge and you see that as an opportunity to grow and do better. And a feedback culture that makes people humble and accept that things can always be better. And of course, it only works if you have psychological safety and connection at the base. And all games are a really good opportunity to practice those good practices. When you play, you realize that maybe your idea was maybe not the best. Other people can have a really good solution in solving a game that you would have thought about yourself. So you're starting to valuing the diversity of thoughts. And then you are having fun. You are having fun solving a new challenge, and you are taking responsibility for the outcomes. So you are building a growth mindset and resilience. And finally, games are an amazing way to give feedback, both positive feedback, but also constructive feedback that are so much more difficult to give in real life. And you give them right there and then, automatically, because you want to win. Playing often will also reinforce those practices, because the more we do things, the more we get better at it. It's because our brain is neuroplastic. So if you give feedback all the time on a low context risk, like a game, you will be able to do it on higher stakes. So, when is the last time you played a game at work? And I'm not talking about the escape room you do once a year. I'm talking about a small game at work. Was it this year? Can you raise your hand? All right, not bad. This month? A little bit less. This week? Good. Well, they are having fun at Avinur, I see. So not everyone plays game every week. However, we put images of play in ads. So this one is an ad for Norges Bank, for a system admin. And I don't know if that person has played. If he's in the room, let me know. And at Fin, you actually use that as well. But I was never a fan, and 2 years ago I asked if we could change that picture, because for me it's important to set the right expectations. If you play only once a year, you shouldn't have a foosball table on your ad. So you set better expectations, because let's face it, we spend a lot of time on our screen and working. But however, it's not because you remove an image of play from your ad that you cannot play. But if you have to play, I wouldn't suggest the foosball. I would suggest other type of games. So let's talk about the different game mechanisms and see what works best. So the first type of game you can play is a game where everyone plays for themselves. It's the Kahoot that you do in a big group. And that's, they rely on luck, ability, or knowledge. So it's good for growth mindset, you're taking a challenge, but it doesn't really build so much other things. And then you have another type of game where it's one against the rest. And the mechanism of the game is actually based on deception and skepticism. So I wouldn't recommend it for the workplace, but it's fun once or twice. But what you start to have in this kind of game is that you have some discussion. And that's really good for building connection and understanding how other people think. So you start building some diversity of thought, at least. Next, you have games where you have a team of players against another team of players. And that's where the foosball table is. And what you get into this kind of game is that you discuss tactical moves. How are you gonna win against the other team? So you build agreement and compromises, which is quite important in a team. So here you will raise all of the good practices, and if in addition you have several rounds in the same game, you will also improve the feedback culture, because you are going to discuss maybe now we should do it this way and not this way, and try to get better. And the last type of game is when everyone is trying to win as a team. And that's the best type of game that you can do to build a team. And that's why escape room that's a typical escape room, where you are all trying to win. And you're really leveraging everyone's ability. You're all trying to get into this growth mindset. You're giving feedback to each other, and you are building connection. So there is escape room, but you also have smaller games that have the same mechanism. So I'm going to show you one. So here's an example, Gartic phone, where the idea is that you start with a sentence that you write, the next person will draw it, then the next person will guess it, and then the next person will draw it. And you win if the first sentence and the last sentence or the last picture kind of match. So here we started with the giraffe cleaning window, and the first drawing is not that bad. And it was guessed right. We added a skyscraper because obviously the giraffe is quite tall. And then there was this drawing. And you see where it went wrong, right? So we have this giraffe, body, window, shopping, building, all right. And here we are. I mean, we work at Finn, which is a marketplace, as you might know. You can sell your car, you can buy apartment and everything, really. So obviously, we ended up with a giraffe buying real estate on Finn. No. So we clearly saw where it went wrong. It was with not numbers and arrows. So we tried to draw nicer this time. So we started with tomato likes pineapple. Not bad. But here it came an apple. Yeah. But the apple was really pretty, and it kept to be an apple and a pineapple, and we ended up there. So not bad, not bad. And what we can learn from this game here, right there, is that color is important. I mean, red is for a tomato, green an apple, and orange an orange, right? So that we learned. All right, but when should you play? We all start our day every day you start your day average in terms of mood, vigilance, and energy. And then during the morning, it will start to peak. So both your mood, vigilance, and energy will rise. That's on a good day. Of course, if you have some problem, that might not look like that, but most days, that is how it looks. And then you will have this drop in both mood, vigilance, and energy. So you are at your lowest point during the day. And then it will go back up. But notice that the mood and the energies goes up, but not the vigilance. The vigilance doesn't go up. So the best time to play a game is actually when you are at your lowest during the day. It will give you a dopamine boost, as we have seen. And dopamine, remember, increase vigilance. So perfect timing just after lunch, like now. So, in summary, I urge you to think a little bit about how you use play and how you could introduce it in the workplace as a strategic investment to embrace diversity, cultivate a growth mindset, and build strong feedback culture. By selecting carefully the games you play, you will really be able to innovate, grow, and most importantly, have fun together. So, let's play to win.